In this video, we will explore the process of defining consumable and non-consumable items. Due to the way the billing library works when handling transactions, there are two critical junctures where it's essential to distinguish between these types of products behind the scenes. Specifically, we encounter this difference when using the launch billing flow and check for purchases blueprint nodes. These nodes require clarity on whether a purchase should be consumed or not. To streamline this process and avoid discrepancies, we've developed a single blueprint node. This node allows you to define a function that the plugin will call at both points. Currently, the function allows you to specify whether a purchase should be consumed or not. However, we may expand its capabilities in future releases. Let's dive into how to set this up. Here we are back in Unreal Engine 5.3 in our demo project. To be a little bit different, since we only want the configure purchase handling to run once, and we want it to run automatically, I've decided to put in our level map blueprint. You can place this in a different location as long as it only runs once. If it runs more than once, that's fine, it'll just overwrite the previous run and it isn't necessary. So if I go to our level map blueprint, you can see I create my widget and I add it to the screen, which is what we've been seeing so far. And then I print a string saying set up purchase handling. If I click play, you can see at the top left it says set up purchase handling. So we're all good and set to go. So let's set up our purchase handling blueprint node. So if we search for configure purchase handling, we can see again it's under the Google Play billing category. So let's select that node to bring it up. It's only got one parameter. This again is a delegate similar to the ones we've used before. The only difference is we create it in a slightly different way. Instead of using an add event and add custom event, you're going to be using an event dispatcher and create an event like this. Now what we can do is define a function which gets defined within this blueprint or wherever you're choosing to do this. We can go create a matching function. Now on the left here you can see we've got a new function. It's auto generated a name for us, but we can change that. Let's call it configure purchase handling. And as you can see, it comes with a purchase and it returns a boolean. This boolean indicates whether we should be consuming the purchase or not. If I split the struct bin, you may recognize the fields available. So let's assume we have a product called no ads, and we would like to not consume this to only allow the user to purchase this once. If we go to the purchase products and we search for contains the product ID no ads, then when the product ID equals no ads, we don't want to consume. So therefore we want to return false. Otherwise, for any other products, we can return true. So let's invert this boolean and then return false. So when the product ID contains a product ID equal to no ads or has a list containing no ads, then we'll want to return false. Otherwise, we can return true. It's important to note that this functionality doesn't actually impact anything. It only is a way for the plugin to communicate with you to act in the background. So by this being called doesn't mean that a purchase has been consumed or not. There can still be a failure when attempting to consume or acknowledge, and those failures are passed through when you set up the launch billing flow and check for purchases blueprint nodes. If there's any failures, those on failure delegates will be called. This is purely informative. What that means is that in order to let the plugin know whether to consume or not, this has to be set up before you launch any billing flows or check for purchases. So this should be the very first blueprint node you use. And finally, the last thing to note is that if you do not set this up, all product purchases will be treated as consumables, and by default, everything will be consumed, allowing the player to purchase the item again. Thanks for watching this video tutorial series. Currently, that's all the functionality we have to offer. If there's any new functionality added, I'll be sure to add it in the next video in the series.